Israel is working very hard to liberalize and secularize the next generation of Muslims. Shockingly, Zionists have already infiltrated Muslim countries in order to manipulate their Islamic curriculum. An Israeli-based group ironically called the Institute for Monitoring Peace and Cultural Tolerance in School Education, IMPACT for short, has attacked school curricula in various Muslim countries to promote disbelief and deviance, while also undermining traditional Islamic teachings under the guise of establishing peace. Shockingly, some Muslim governments are actually allowing IMPACT to edit their textbooks. According to Marcus Sheff, IMPACT's chief executive, Saudi Arabia, for example, has, quote, demonstrated a clear institutional effort to make Islamic content more moderate. It goes without saying that letting Zionists educate Muslim children on Islam is a recipe for disaster. So, what did IMPACT manage to change in these textbooks? Consider this. After IMPACT's 2020 report, Saudi Arabia in 2021 removed part of a hadith that told the story of a sick Jewish boy being cured after embracing Islam, where after the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for saving the boy from Jahannam because of the conversion. In the edit, the textbook omits the conversion completely, as the hadith implied that the boy would have gone to hell simply for being Jewish. It's interesting to note that this particular edit was classified by IMPACT as an edit done to Tawheed, which is the single most important tenet of Islam, where belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is paramount. Essentially, the edit targets the Islamic belief that salvation cannot be achieved without accepting Islam. Other edits delete ayat and hadith that say that mushrikeen are bound for the hellfire. According to IMPACT, these Islamic texts and standard orthodox teachings are hateful and extreme. IMPACT's attack on Tawheed is only the tip of the proverbial iceberg. Other liberal ideologies such as LGBT doctrine, feminism, and secularism are inserted into the curriculum. After IMPACT's 2019 report to Saudi Arabia, texts which taught that God punishes societies with rampant sexual immorality were scrubbed the following year. Other passages which condemn homosexual behavior according to Islamic orthodoxy were also removed. To make matters worse, Saudi Arabia is not the only Muslim nation that is letting IMPACT change its textbooks. Qatar and the United Arab Emirates have also put the education of their children in the hands of Zionists. At the behest of IMPACT, Qatar no longer defines Zionism in school textbooks as a racist political movement, but rather describes it as just another political movement wherein the goal is to create a Jewish state in Palestine. Israel's racist and genocidal policies are no longer included. For the UAE, IMPACT boasts that they've pushed pro-liberal progressive material such as rethinking traditional Islamic gender roles in order to achieve equality between the sexes. According to IMPACT's secular ideology, women and men should be equal in, quote, all fields of life, including education, representation in politics, economy, and decision-making processes. This is, of course, completely contrary to traditional gender norms as found in Islam. Beyond pushing liberalism and secularism, there are other extremely disturbing changes to the textbooks. Some of the content pushes Muslim youth to support Israel and not see it as a cruel occupying force. Why is this Zionist group so determined to infiltrate Islamic education outside of Israel? Could it be that Israel has a vested interest in Islamic curricula because it has, quote, a power far greater than any form of media, including social media, as Marcus Sheff himself admits? Is it possible that countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE, in their recent normalization of ties with Israel, are letting the apartheid state dictate what is presented in school curricula to destroy the next generation of Muslims? This seems to be the case because the content that was removed was done in a way so that seeds of doubt would attack the iman of Muslim youth by replacing Islam with liberal and secular doctrines. Israel's recent push to normalize ties by using interfaith initiatives, treaties like the Abrahamic Accords, and educational reform in Muslim lands is a strategic ploy to help cripple Muslims and destroy the fabric of Islamic society. And why are these concessions one-sided? While Muslim countries are bending backwards to appease Israel, does Israel reciprocate when it comes to the genocidal policies used against Palestinians? The Ummah should have an issue with governments, imams, and celebrity dawah figures supporting initiatives that help normalize ties with Israel, especially when their Muslim brothers and sisters are being killed by the Zionist regime day after day. While Israel plans to erase Islam from the hearts of Muslims, Allah is always the best of planners. May Allah help us keep our iman strong and fight against those that oppress the Ummah. Ameen.